Do you think our apologetic is changing now so that we're understanding, we're being able to speak better into a because right now with fatherhood, father hunger is a forefront of everything. Mm-hmm. I've never seen so many people having the conversation, well, if you fix the family, you fix everything else. I'm like, you're an atheist and a pagan. Why are you guys saying that? Yeah. It's the first time I've seen that, where it's permeating everything. Do you think our apologetic is getting better, where we're able to say, oh, this is a great opportunity to lay out the Godhead and the culture and the way it's supposed to be, or is that really the collapse of society?
Well, I think our society's collapsed. I don't think our apologetics getting better from the standpoint that doubling down, in a sense, on the intellectual component of the gospel, and it's hard to lay out because there's almost like more counseling, if that makes sense. It's like really listening to people, and like even, it's an easy layup, but oh, my friend, I'm asking a question about my friend. Like, this is all personal. You know what I mean? And so when people are asking you a question, trying to understand, out of the overflow of the heart, the mouth speaks. And so when they ask me about the resurrection of Jesus, that might be an intellectual question. But when they're asked about the problem of evil and they bring up certain things like, how do you know? And the justice of God, like these are all personal things. And so if I have a major gripe with Toby and I'm making an accusation to his children about him, you're just like, okay, what is really going on here? And I think we're failing in apologetics from the standpoint that often it's almost like just addressing the question rather than, okay, what's driving the person that they're raising this objection. And so
that's what I mean. Yeah, because the presupposition apologetics, we get into it, we understand what the presuppositions are, and then we argue about the presuppositions. And what I've started to understand is me understanding presuppositional apologetics isn't necessarily for the other person. It's actually for me to be able to create a rhetoric that points them to a place that's like, oh, I was arguing with somebody before about, they said they don't believe in God. They don't believe there's anything they can't see. He had a girlfriend. Well, the presupposition is like, so the love that you have for her isn't real? And so I said, well, what would you feel about if she had started having a relationship with another guy? Oh, I would be upset. Well, there's nothing real between y'all, right? Mm-hmm. So it doesn't really matter. And all of a sudden he was like, whoa, hold on. I don't like that reality. And so I was able to use that to communicate to him that what he was saying really wasn't true without, well, you believe in truth because you just made a truth statement. That's one, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and that totally misses them. You know what I mean? It really is almost like just talking another language. And even one of the things I've found is very rarely do I debate the existence of God. It's all, what is God like and can I trust him? So I spent a lot of time in 1 John 1. God is light. In him there is no darkness. And your mom and dad and your friends and the guy that used you and the girl that whatever, there's darkness in them. Yahweh's not that way. He's pure light and he can be trusted. And I feel like much of what I'm seeking to do is much more, again, just going back to the character of God, because it's interesting. Very rarely do I have a debate, does God exist? Yeah. There might be that truth component, but everybody, even that, they all know they're making truth claims and stuff like that. But it goes back to that personal component. Nobody cares that 2 + 2 = 4. Because that's an abstraction. But the minute your budget doesn't add up, everybody cares about 2 + 2 = 4. So when we're showing up thinking that they just want to learn math and we're trying to answer that, you're totally missing because their budget's not going to work at the end of the month. Right. And that's what they're really worried about. And so how do we address all of that? And I feel like that's much more of what I'm seeking to do.